afternoon. Welcome to Gulfstream. Today we're on Nicoletti, joined by Katie Stazak. We finally have no rain. We have a fast main track. We got a good turf course. How you doing, Katie?
I'm doing great. It's so nice to see the sunshine today.
Yeah, we've been dodging raindrops throughout the week, but you know, if it stays like this, very sunny day, we'll probably have a better turf course a little later on. But good is not bad. I've been watching the races here. Turf course has been excellent. But we have some great news today. We got the Rainbow Six. We have $100,000 jackpot guarantee that starts in race number 6. We have an 11-race card, races 6 through 11. They've been knocking on the door. We'll see if they can bring it down today. But we also have a carryover in the Pick 5 today. And every time we have a Pick 5 carryover, it's $13,000 plus. Boy, today bet it. I bet you it'll be over $100,000. And we're not done yet, Katie. We also got a carryover in the Super High Five of $1,400. So we have a lot of carryovers today, and that makes for fun racing. As I mentioned, fast main track, good turf course. And you know what? We had a fun race last week, didn't we?
We did, and I know you really want to talk about this race because the winner, Oldonia, was your top pick. You couldn't say enough about this, and she came through. So let's take a look at that race.
We'll show her. She was the, she'll see her, she'll slip through on the inside. She runs a really nice race in there. And Marty Wolfson, the trainer, and ended up having a lot of luck in this race with his 3 finishes in here. And there you'll see Aldonia there. She's the number 3 horse, and it just runs very good. Look, it sneaks through on the inside there and then just takes off. You know, actually drifts out a little in the stretch, but still well won it rather impressively.
Yeah, and Marty Wolfson, like you mentioned, runs 1, 2, 3 in this race last week. He has another 4 entered today. I don't know where he's getting all these fillies and mares. It's like he grows them.
And 2 of them on the also eligible list. They haven't scratched out yet. If it should happen to rain, Marty Wolfson trainee. So that's 6 horses in the race. But I don't see that where they're going to have this will be off the turf today. Our feature race we're talking about, of course, not this one. The Musical Romance, O'Donnell winning it. It was very nice. And as I mentioned, we have an 11-race card. So let's get right through it. Our first race today on the turf, 1 mile and 1/16. Good maiden claimers. Fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up, $12,500. Scratched the number 9 horse in here, a Fleet Ali, and I went with the number 3, To Have and To Hold, and you went with the number 3, To Have and To Hold.
I have to agree. This filly should really benefit from the class drop today. She's dropping down from the $25,000 level. She was actually second, beaten just a neck when running for a $30,000 tag just in July this summer. That was the only in-the-money effort of her career, and it came over a good turf course, which is what she's likely going to see again today.
We both agree with you for everything you said about the number 3, To Have and To Hold. I went with the number 6 in second. That's Royal Spaces. Has been competitive enough at this level and distance, I think, to earn a spot on that exacta ticket. Joe Catney's had a pretty nice victory yesterday with one of his turf runners, and Luca Panici was in the saddle, so maybe they can catch lightning in the bottle again and win the second race. But I see you went with the number 4 in your second spot.
I did. I like, well, I have the 4 in my second spot. That's Fast Andrea. This 4-year-old filly really relished the sloppy going in her last start and really put in the best performance of her 7-race career. Ran second. We'll see if that form can translate back to the turf course.
Yeah,
today.
that's always something you have to try and figure out in there. And we both had the number 5 in the 3rd spot, Hadassah Bay. Hadassah Bay, very interesting. Good horse, consistent, but 0 for 25 in the win column. So thus we put it in the 3rd spot. The second race we're going to the fast main track, 5.5 furlongs. These are claimers, fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up, non-winners of 2 races in life. I went with the number 6, Nora in the Sky, and you went with the number 3 horse in here, and that's Kaylin's Prayer, and I want to know why.
I did. I really like Kaylin's Prayer. She broke her maiden last time out for an $8,000 tag, and I was really impressed with that effort. She was having a perfect trip right up until she went to make a bid for the lead in the stretch. She actually had to check and completely lost her momentum. She was re-angled to find some running room between horses, and she came back rallying for that victory. That was on August 31st. I really like the way she's trained since then. Gets blinkers on today, and also a new factor that we have here, the Edgar Prado factor. It's so nice to have the Hall of Fame rider back here at Gulfstream. He had 2 winners his first day back here. He's going to be based here, but also going back and forth from Kentucky and New York for now, and he also had a win yesterday. I think that obviously helps her.
I went with the number 6, Nora in the Sky, and this one is dropping to the 6,250 2-lifetime level. It stalked the pace last time out, drifted in the stretch, finished 3rd, but that was against $20,000 2-lifetime types at the distance. I think she's an obvious choice in here unless you didn't like that performance during the stretch run. So I like your pick in here. That's the number 3. We both had the 6 on our ticket along with the number 8, Roll It Gal. Let's flip the page. Go to the 3rd race. We're back on the turf course. Turf course listed as good. 1 mile. Claimers, fillies and mares, 3 and up. 30 down to $25,000. Got a scratch in here of number 2 just before we came on the air of Daddy's Kiss, which was my 3rd choice in here. Also going to scratch the main track only's number 9 and number 10 out of the race. And we both have number 7, Grand Cat. And please tell me why.
Well, at first I wasn't sure whether this race was going to be taken off the grass, and if it was, I really loved the main track only entrance. But without them, I'm going with the 7, Grand Cat. This 3-year-old filly faced winners for the first time in her last outing and faltered. She faded to 5th after setting the pace in the mile in a 16th contest, but she's cutting back in distance today, and I think the mile distance should really suit her.
You know, we're talking about Edgar Prado coming down. We had Marcus Vitale just having a fantastic staying along with Jane Sibeli. And Jane Sibeli trains the 8 in here, and that is Kazuna. And this one debuts locally after setting the pace weekly late to finish 3rd. That was against $25,000. 2 lifetime claimers. It was on the turf. It was upstate at Penn National up there in Pennsylvania. And this one just needs to stay out of a ruinous speed duel with the number 7, Grand Cat, to run its best, because both of them look like they like to be on or near the lead. Added the 4, English Bank later on. I had really liked the 2, Daddy's Kid, to sit behind that speed, but we're going to go with the number 4, English Bank in 3rd.
I did the same exact thing. Had Daddy's Kiss 2nd. She scratched. I put in the 4.
Okay, let's go to the 4th race. This one, 5.5 furlongs. These are maiden filly 2-year-olds, and we're going to go back and show you a race from September 11th, and it's number 5, Kate's Great, I believe, in the race.
Yes, this is Kate's Great, and I really wanted to show you this race because right here at the 5/16th pole, she's going to get taken out by the 2. The 2 has the rain break here, and you're going to see Kate's Great kind of get taken out with her. Then she's going to drift again into the 5 path into the stretch, and again in the stretch she drifts out. She just gets caught late for 3rd, and I really think she would have hung on for 3rd if the jockey had really kept riding her. He kind of eases up a little bit at the end, and she gets caught for 3rd. But I was really impressed with that performance. I can't imagine how much extra ground she actually ran that day.
Well, that's good, because she's a pretty solid price on the board. I went with the number 4 in here, you have in 2nd spot. That's our Sassy Lass. This one's turning back to 5.5 furlongs, returning to the maiden claiming ranks. These are $100,000 maiden claimers, so pretty high price. But this one stalked the pace and faded, and that was against winners. It was in the Susan's Girl division of the Florida Sire Stakes. So going back against maidens, just thought that the number 4, our Sassy Lass, spotted nicely today.
I completely agree. This filly ran really encouragingly in her debut, and they must have thought a lot about her to put her right into the Susan's Girl. I think this is a much softer spot for her, and you should see a much better finish.
You know, the number 3 in here, Sakara, it's going to wear blinkers today after tracking the pace and failing to finish the distant 5th as the even money favorite in that race behind a horse we're going to show you a little later on, and that is this horse called Saving Time. It was just so impressive breaking its maiden first time out. But what I like about that also came out of that race was a couple of next out winners, one Wildcat Magic and the other one Extreme Express. So it's the old key race angle. So number 3, Sakara, had an excuse getting blinkers today, coming out of a really good race. And when you see Saving Time's race a little later on, you will see why I had a little affinity towards number 3, Sakara. Let's go to the 5th race, a 6 furlong sprint. These are claimers 3 and up, $6,250. And number 7, Dangerous Trick. Here's my question to you. Wins all the time, but has never come back on such short notice. This is only last week, right?
Yeah, last week got another win. This is really the hot horse as of late. He's won his last 4 by a combined 10 3/4 lengths. Now, again, like you said, I'm a little concerned with the quick turnaround, but I'm thinking this horse is just hot and on a roll, and they want to keep it going while he's in such good form.
Yeah, and I look back, and I really couldn't find anywhere in the past performance that as far back as I looked, that where he came back on such short notice. So there is a little bit of a little baby red flag there that you might want to take a look at. The number 9, Karate Jack, who we both have in 2nd, moved to the trainer we were talking about, Marcus Vitale, Barn V, the claim after following a couple of really sharp outings at this level, then comes back, chases the pace, and fades out of it. That was on a good track. The Barn is really good with new claims, 21%. He's got his go-to jock, Orlando Bocaccio. Chica.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see how Karate Jack runs for those new connections. I said the same thing when I was looking at the past performances and saw that.
Yeah, we both, Katie has the 5, I have the 1 in third in our 5th race, and we will go to the 6th race today. This is 6 furlongs, maiden 3-year-olds and upward, and we want to go back and visit a race on September 5th. We want to show you the number 7 that day, Gray Bow, who's in there, who really had an amazing performance.
He really did, really impressed. You're going to see him. Here's the 7. He falls all the way behind at the
Not
break.
even in the picture there.
Stumbles there, gets completely out of the picture. He ends up closing from 15 lengths back and passes 7 horses in the stretch. He really comes from out of nowhere. Yeah, he's still all the way back there, barely inside of the picture, and he is going to pass all of those horses while in the 6th path to get up for 2nd. That impressed me so much. Really, that was his first start in almost a year. This horse is just starting over again. He's never been worse than 2nd, hasn't gotten a win, but has never been worse than 2nd, and I think he's going to just be fitter today. Also gets blinkers on, so I think that's going to help him get a little bit more involved early. He won't have so much ground to make up.
Yeah, and that was when you go back and see that race again, you say, oh my goodness, look at this. He was out of the picture totally, came flying at the end. So I had him on my ticket too. But my best bet of the day is the number 3. I think it's Prounce Babank, and this one is turning back to a sprint distance on the dirt. After setting the pace and weakening late to finish 3rd, that was going a mile on the turf. If anybody knows any of my handicap, you know I'm a sucker for showing speed on the grass and turning back to a sprint distance on the main track. Going to try and beat some pretty tall customers in here with the number 4, Concord's Cat, who's trained by the one and only Todd Pletcher.
Yeah, Todd Pletcher, always dangerous, especially in these maiden specials.
What about the 7 horse you picked in here?
Bold Summit, this one really intrigues me. This is a debut runner for the Chief, Alan Jerkins. He was going to team up with Edgar Zayas. The two of them won with first-time starter Some Roar 2 weeks ago, so maybe we'll be having a little bit of deja vu here in the 6th race.
Edgar Zayas back today after a couple of days off, and he will be out of town tomorrow. He'll be riding Wildcat Red, so in the Oklahoma Derby, I believe it is. So that we'll see Edgar, and we'll see our buddy Wildcat Red. What a nice horse that is. Our 7th race this afternoon, 5.5 furlong. These are maiden filly 2-year-olds, maiden special weight conditions. And I went with the number 5 in here, Divine Ida, and you went with the number 3, Odachi.
Yeah, I like Odachi. This 2-year-old filly is a daughter of First Samurai and the horse chestnut mare Tamdeed. First Samurai won the Grade 2 Fountain of Youth here back in 2006. He doesn't have tremendous numbers when it comes to 2-year-old debut runners, but this filly's been working really strongly coming into her first start. She breezed 3 furlongs and 35-1 on Monday. She also had the bullet for 4 furlong work on September 14th. Ralph Nix does very, very well with his first-time starters as well.
You sure you're not just following Edgar Prado today?
I may.
The number 5, Divine, and she likes Edgar Prado, by the way. This is a $120,000 daughter of Unbridled Soul, not Katie, Divine Ida, debuting for trainer Ramon Morales. Solid morning work tab. This horse working well. Morales, I'm not that familiar with trainer Ramon Morales. He's just new to here to Gulfstream Park. But look at his records. He's 37% with first-time starters and 35% with his freshman runners. And they've got Jesus Rios, who's been riding in great form. Lots of things to like about this number 5 horse, Divine Ida.
Also a daughter of Unbridled Song, whose progeny typically run very, very well first time out.
And both have number 8, Gorgeous Dream, is stretching out an additional half furlong. Jose Garofalo, Jose Valdivia Jr. in that horse.
Yeah, and she ran very, very encouragingly in her debut on September 13th. I love how she broke well, settled in 3rd, came within a lead, ahead of the lead, before fading that day. Think she just got tired, switched on the lead, then switched back off the lead. I think she'll be fitter today with that experience under her belt.
Well, let's go to the 8th race. This one is 6 furlong sprint, an allowance optional claimant, 3-year-olds and up. The claiming level is $50,000. Scratch to 3. Capital City has been declared out of the race, and Katie and I have our exactest flip-flop. I went with the 2 in spite of things, and Katie went with the 5 horse, I believe, in here. No, yeah, the 5-horse, Elusive Blue Boy.
I think at 4-1 on the morning line that this colt is a tremendous value. He's returning to dirt after putting in a solid performance in his turf debut last out on the 1st of the month. He closed very well and was a gaining 4th, beaten just a half length. This is a colt with a lot of stakes experience. In fact, he has a stakes win under his belt, and I think if he hadn't run in so many stakes, he'd have a lot better win record than it suggests in the past performances. I think this is a great spot for him.
How about the number 2 and the number 4 in here? The 2, In Spite of Things, and the 4, Imposter. New faces on the local scene from Marcus Vitale. Hard to gauge how these horses are going to run. We'll talk about the 2, In Spite of Things first. The new face, as I mentioned, speed figure is certainly good enough to defeat this level of competition, albeit that was on the synthetic surface at Arlington Park. Colt really training sharply up at Monmouth Park and across down at Gulfstream Park West. So he's got a couple of really nice works. Looks like he can handle the move from the synthetic to the main track. 10-pound apprentice, Tyler Gaffalione, in the saddle. With that said, the 4, the Imposter, has Orlando Boca Chica on it, who happens to be Marcus Vitale's go-to rider.
Yep, I thought the same thing. I put both of the Vitale horses in here, and Orlando Boca Chica on the Imposter. Lightly raced, going to try a traditional dirt surface for the first time today. We'll see how it goes.
Well, we have the trifecta. We'll just box them around there, and I'm in agreement with you, too, with the 5, Elusive Blue Boy. Should run very well at that level. We're going to go to the ninth and feature race, and what a great betting race this is. 1 mile and 1/16 on the turf. Fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up, $90,000. One scratch to report so far. That's the 11 Holiday Magic. The MTOs, I haven't got them yet, but they might be out already. We'll let you know about that when we get it. But right now, for sure, the 11 Holiday Magic is out. Actually worked this morning for trainer Bill Kaplan. This is the Wasted Tears, and we got a good friend of ours, and that's the one Angelica Zabata. And we're going to go back to show you her victory in the Soaring Softly. And there she is. What a great race mare this is.
This mare is fantastic. She is just a 6-year-old veteran, and she knows her job and does it so well. This is her winning the Soaring Softly, and you're going to see behind her E.B. Ryder, who is also in this race, and she had a nice stakes win in the Anca Germaina earlier this summer. I think these two are the top two, without a doubt, in this race.
Yeah, there's a couple of horses. You know, each and every day I pick a long shot, too, and I got my long shot in this race, and that is the number 6 horse, I believe it is, and that's She's Spooky. She's Spooky, really fast, bullet workout. If this horse can get loose on the lead, this turned out to be a great betting race. I have Angelica Zabata on top of my ticket, so do you. I went with the number 8 horse, Done One, and I'm going to tell you why. I agree with you with E.B. Ryder, but Done One is going to face older horses again. Has already beat older horses once before, but she just notched her 3rd consecutive turf victory, and she has been very impressive. This is a daughter of Dunkirk, and she has a lot of upside. This would be her first stakes victory, but I think she could be the sneaky in the race.
The horse to beat is definitely Angelica Zapata, and I was talking to her trainer Ron Pellegrini, and really going into the Soaring Softly, of 43 days between that race and her previous race, the Nancy's Glitter, she had only about 15 days of training. She actually kicked out and needed stitches on her leg and had time out off. They weren't sure if they were even going to run her in the Soaring Softly, but they said, why not? We think she's just better. Ron Pellegrini says she's even fitter today because now she has a full, consistent training regimen back going. The only thing that makes me like E.B. Ryder so much is the distance. I think at 1 mile and 1/16 she comes flying late, and I think she's a little bit better at this distance.
And it's Marty Wilson who seems to have a grasp on all our stakes races around here. Well, let's go to our 10th race of the afternoon, a 6-furlong allowance optional claimer. Fillies 2-year-olds, the claiming level $75,000. Scratch the 4, My Miss Venezuela. Also scratch number 8, Raya Binka. And here's, as we promised, we're going to show you the debut performance of Saving Time, who was the, you'll find this horse right away, you'll see her. On the front there, this filly was very impressive. She just drew off to win it for fun in here. And the thing that I like about it, she won this race, but behind her was, as I mentioned before, Wildcat Magic and Extreme Success, who both came back to win their next starts.
And look at her going. She hasn't even switched leads yet and still just running off. Such a nice performance. Very hard to ignore. I put her on top as well.
Yeah, I mean, you sort of have to. And then we have the one-horse Frolic to the Wire. Oh, this one went up and ran into Pocahontas at Churchill Downs. Might have been a little too big, too much for her. I think she fits nicely in this spot. But how good is the two-horse today saving time? We're going to find out a little later on. And, you know, you'll see that race earlier that we keyed off saving time. If they run well in there, you're going to have to maybe single this one in your Rainbow Six, or for sure your your pick 5. We'll see how that works out. As we mentioned, we got those carryovers. Our 11th and final race on the card is on the turf. 1 mile, claim is 3 and up. Non-winners of 2 races in life. $12,500. Scratch the 10, touchdown Tom. Also, the number 14 has already been out. There's another A in there. We'll see what happens. It looks like the 13 might run, but our track announcer, Pete Aiello, will be back right after us and explain all the scratches and all the good stuff you need. How'd you see the nightcap?
I went with the 12, Oh the Gift. This 5-year-old gelding is just as consistent as they come. He's hit the board in 4 of his last 5, and that really should be 5 for 5 because he was only beaten a neck for the show 2 starts back. He's taken a drop from the $16,000 level, and that should really give him an edge versus this company.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly, and great trainer in Michelle Nahai. And so we have an agreement in the last race. I used the 4 My Nobleman, and then the 3 Wild Kiss, turned it back to a mile. But let me tell you this, if you're betting today and you like a couple of horses that we gave you earlier on that look like standouts, go a little deeper in this race here. These last races, we've always had some real bombers win them. So if you're betting today, as we mentioned, with the huge jackpot guarantee in the Rainbow Six of $100,000 and carryovers in the Pick 5 and Super High 5, if you have a chance and you have the extra money, you might want to go a little deeper in these type of races. They're very competitive in these big fields. They're tough to handicap.
Absolutely. We've been really coming down to the wire in the Rainbow Six so often lately with lots of singles, so you're really going to want to play deep because you're going to have a chance and it's going to have a big payoff. I'm going to guarantee it today. Now, I don't usually do this. We're going to have a fun day of racing with no rain, I hope. What do you think? I hope you didn't just jinx them. Good luck, everybody. Have a good one.